I mean, just because you're a straight woman doesn't mean you can't admire a good-looking chick, you know? Hey, what's up, guys? It's Devin Harrington, the average Gen Xer. Welcome back to my channel, where today we're going to take a look at some TikToks. And these TikToks are by child-free women. And I have to say, the ever-increasing number of women of all ages who are making content and warning younger women to stay child-free absolutely warms my cold black heart. So I have not watched any of these. I'm not sure what's about to go down, but let's check them out. But first, as I do on every video on this channel, I want to take a second to encourage all animal lovers out there. Please do consider volunteering on site or fostering for your local animal shelter or rescue. And this is little Ella Bella, and she's still with me, and she's doing really great. She does zoomies in the morning now, and she plays, and she's really coming out of her shell, and her little personality's coming out, and she's very silly. If you are unfamiliar, Ella was one of 50 dogs seized in a hoarding case. So it's likely she's about 4 years old, and it's likely she probably never left that house in her whole life. So she's learning and she's doing great. But if you love animals, please consider fostering or volunteering on site. It doesn't take as much effort, money, or time as you might think, and it is incredibly rewarding. You can do your little part to help save the world. Do it for the animals. Thanks. Okay, this first lady is, it cuts off a little bit at the beginning, but she's saying she's 55 and she doesn't have kids. Holla, same girl, same. Some of these women are just child-free. Some of them are child-free and single by choice. So just roll with it.
And I don't have kids. I know a lot of you get those annoying questions like, why don't you have kids? What's the matter? Do you not want kids? Is it because of your career? Who's going to take care of you? Blah, blah, blah. But I got to tell you, it was even worse when I was in my 20s. And I think I always try to manage other people's expectations and try to think of a good reason that would make them feel comfortable.
You hear this ad nauseum. Women have always been brought up to sacrifice their own needs and feelings for those around them. To be nurturing means to be selfless, to sacrifice yourself for the needs of your husband and children and whoever else you are caretaking. And that ain't the way, sis. That ain't the way.
I wasn't having children. So if you decided or you're still trying to decide, I just want you to know this. From a 55-year-old that did not have children, do not owe anybody, and I mean anybody, an explanation.
Damn right. And we need to really come up with some solid standard responses to why don't you have kids, or when are you going to have kids, or anything like that. There has to be some standard response we can come up with that will just shut the conversation down, because that's the only way the culture is going to change, is when enough people realize that it's none of your goddamn business whether anyone has or doesn't have kids, particularly women. Like, if she's pregnant and she wants someone to know, she'll tell you. Otherwise, mind your fucking biz.
And I just genuinely feel that having a kid would ruin my life.
Because
the problem is, a lot of y'all have kids willy-nilly. You don't think it through. I've thought it through and through. I would be
props to you, madam.
Tired all the time. My money wouldn't go as far as it does now. Worried all the time. The toll that it takes on your body physically, and the fact that you're risking your life, literally. Not to mention y'all.
Yeah, you are literally risking your life. I grew up thinking that, of course, no women die in childbirth anymore because, it's modern medicine. And I was thinking that in the late 70s when I was a kid. It just wasn't a thing. And as I grew up, it just became more and more so like, of course, women don't die in childbirth. We know how to fix anything now. But the United States has one of the highest maternal mortality rates on Earth. And yeah, that is in large part thanks to our ass-backward laws, which makes a fetus more of a person than the woman carrying the fetus. But I digress. Let's not go there. But yeah, this lady is completely right. And she sat down and thought about it. And that is why I make this content. Like, we are at a point, in my humble opinion, on my humble channel, in human history, where no one is allowed to just be popping out kids for the fuck of it. If anyone has not heard of the story out of Ohio, Hamden, Ohio. 16 children were discovered, all holed up in a 12 by 12 room full of human feces. And these people considered all of their children a blessing. Just Google it. It's fucking disgusting. The fact that that goes on, until that has been eradicated, until women can just not be brainwashed anymore to be turned into a broodmare, we got to keep making this content.
Oh, it's hard to live. The world is full of weirdos. I'm talking about predators and just creeps. Just for them to be brought into this.
And I always have to put a disclaimer several times when I make this kind of stuff, because I'm not saying all men, I'm not man bashing, but consider the fact that there are women all over the world who, now that we have social media, can anonymously tell their story. And how fucked up is it that the stories from different parts of the world are all the same? So there's enough of a percentage of men, dare we say the majority, who fucking suck.
This world to live a life of just,
but not all,
slavery. I think about that kid and I'm like, you know what? I'm good.
Please, for the love of God, do not tell me that I don't understand how hard it is to have kids. Oh no, I fully am aware. I understand so much how difficult it is in this economy, which is why I didn't have them. I've been practicing discernment and observation for the past 25 years. When my
Thank God, she should be having kids and raising them to think correctly.
friends started having kids, and I watched them suffer and struggle through motherhood, through useless partners who actually, matter of fact, are like another child. Okay, I struggle to pay my own bills. What makes me think that adding a child to that is going to make that situation a little bit better?
Absolutely. The fact that it's still very common, a very common thought that, well, you get to a certain age and you have to have children to be a grown-up is gotta go. You don't have to do shit to be a grown-up. You get to a certain age, you're grown. Take care of yourself. But adding a child, especially if you're single, every woman that gets pregnant nowadays should be prepared to be a single mom, whether you're married or not. Do you know how many married single moms are out there? Sad.
Right, so no, I don't need to go through it firsthand, but I sure as shit understand how difficult it is, which is why I don't choose it. Another thing, just because you didn't discern doesn't mean that other people didn't get the memo.
Mm-hmm.
So please don't ever use that as an insult or a clapback at some child-free woman in your life. She understands just fucking fine.
Yeah, that is true. I can say for myself, probably the number one reason why I have been child-free since like the age of 3. You know what happened when I was 3.5? My mother had twins, my twin brothers. And there's a picture of me sitting there holding twin babies throwing up on themselves, and I'm like 4. And the look on my face is like, what the fuck is this? So I grew up parentified. I ended up with 3 younger brothers, and I had way, way too much responsibility. And so I knew exactly what it was like. By the time I left the house, between helping with my younger brothers, helping with the housework, which meant I did the majority of the housework, and working for the barn that I rode at, and working for my evil stepfather who ran a catering business out of our house, by the time I got out of the house, I decided I had lost my childhood to all that, and I know exactly what I'm in for if I get married and have kids, and fuck that. So plenty of us who are child-free, there's a damn good reason. We know exactly what it's like, how hard it is, how miserable, how loud, how children need 24/7 constant attention. It's not for us.
Respectfully, if your day doesn't start like this, we do not have the same 24 hours.
I'm a child-free woman, and I 100% agree with this woman. Her 24 hours is so much harder than my 24 hours, which is why I haven't chosen her life. I made an informed decision because I knew that that was the case. I find really weird is when I get parents in my comment section.
Can I just say that I love this woman? I'm like hypnotized by her beautiful green eyes and her fabulous red hair and just like the shape of her lips. I mean, just because you're a straight woman doesn't mean you can't admire a good looking chick, you know? What the fuck am I talking about?
who try and convince me that they lead a child-free life just with kids. It can do everything that child-free people do, and it's just as easy for them. It's a lie. And if it isn't a lie,
how does that work? Like, child-free women have not given birth, and you have. We are not the same.
They are severely neglecting their children. I know enough friends and family who've had kids to know just how difficult and permanently life-altering having children is. Trying to push a narrative that you can still live a child-free life whilst having children is malicious. It's maliciously misleading people who don't have kids into believing that having kids is easy. Why are we?
And it's lying by omission. And there certainly are people out there who think that getting pregnant, having kids, going through pregnancy, no big deal. There are women out there who just hit the genetic lottery with regard to that. And it's a breeze. And they were just born to mother human children. But they are the minority.
Doing that? Why would we ever do that? Who does that benefit? Definitely not women or parents in general. We need more people like this creator talking about the realities of it and how difficult it is and how much harder it is to be a parent than being child-free. I know child-free people have been talking about it for yonks, about how easy their life is, and we get so much pushback. We need parents to be saying the same thing so that everyone can go into parenthood.
Yeah, and child-free people get all kinds of shit. I always get comments, usually from men, almost exclusively from men, saying, yeah, okay, so you don't want kids, so shut up. Don't talk about it. Who cares? We don't care what you don't want. Well, yeah, I'd love to be able to shut up and have being child-free completely a normal, acceptable, no big deal way of living your life for women as it is for men. But unfortunately, we don't live in that world. So we got to keep talking about it until society changes.
Making an informed decision about what their life is going to look like. How unfair to convince people that having kids is just as easy as being child-free. Your life basically won't change at all. Because then when the reality of parenthood hits, it's going to be a very rude awakening. And there are going to be people who are not prepared for it and are not cut out for it, who made the decision to do it based on a lie that is being pushed by parents because they hate to see people talking about a lifestyle that they didn't choose. We need more people
that they couldn't choose or felt they couldn't choose. That's the truth, because everybody has a choice. And if you feel you don't, it's because you have been taken advantage of, lied to by omission. You were born in a country that thinks of women as cattle. It could be any number of horrors, but until every woman on earth is free to make her own reproductive choices and marital choices and whether or not to do the traditional lifestyle or to just do her own thing, until every woman has that choice, as long as the grid stays up, we're going to keep complaining about the patriarchy.
Like this woman to be honest about what it's like, and we shouldn't be shaming them for it to the point where they're turning off their comments just for being realistic about the realities of having kids.
If a man ever tries to use the argument on you that women were built to create babies, ask him about menopause. There's only 3 animals in nature that have menopause. We are one of them. The only biological purpose for that is that we need to pass on knowledge. Men can keep producing sperm until they die, i.e., you guys were actually born just to procreate, not us. That's your purpose, not ours. We get to choose. The egg gets to choose. And we have menopause, which means our value is actually not in our reproductive systems. It's in the knowledge that we pass on and that it's imperative for the survival of the species. So biologically speaking.
So this is
word, young sis. That is very true. I've never heard it put quite that way. And I didn't realize that there are only 3 species of animals that go through menopause. Stand by. Wow, this is fascinating. Okay, according to Google AI, besides humans, true menopause, which indicates a female lives for a significant portion of their lives after their reproductive years end, and so true menopause is extremely rare. It is scientifically documented in just 5 other species, and they're all mammals in the sea. Orcas, or killer whales, short-finned pilot whales, beluga whales, narwhals, that's the one with the big tusk, and false killer whales. In these marine mammals, a lack of reproduction after a certain age helps prevent mothers and daughters from competing for resources and mates. And these, all of these types of whales live in family pods, I think. Certainly orcas do. Certainly belugas do. So, wow, that's really fascinating. I'm glad I caught this TikTok so I could learn that.
This girl said, oop, I'm crying. Hold on. This creator got on here and said that child-free women act like they just live such a totally different life. And the totally different life be hot wings and hookah, I think that's what she said. And she would just much rather have the baby. Let me tell you something. For one, for starters, is that us child-free women, especially being young in your 20s, shit, even being older. But baby, let me tell you something. I got off at 5 a.m. Okay, I work swing shift. So that means sometimes I work during the day, sometimes I work during the night. I got off at 5 a.m. It is 1:20 in the afternoon. I just woke up maybe 20 minutes ago. My whole house is silent. You hear that? Nothing. You can't hear shit in my motherfucking refrigerator. My whole house is silent. There's no one up in my face screaming about they want breakfast, they gotta do this, they gotta do that. The freedom of only having to worry about yourself is just
Ecstasy.
immaculate. Like, oh my gosh, yes, I love it. Every day that I get up and I just have to worry about myself, it's amazing. Okay. Another thing, I am not rich. I am not rich. I am definitely trying. I'm in school. I'm trying to, do my thing. But I don't have to worry about nobody else. If I don't got shit but $6 till Friday, I don't got to worry about choosing between fucking Pampers, wipes, and us eating fucking food. Baby, I'm finna go get me a motherfucking piggy bag with my $6 because all these bills is fucking paid. You see what I'm saying? It's just different when all you have to do is worry about you. Okay. Second of all, a lot of, I won't even say young mothers, but just in my experience from what I've seen in my age group, I'm 22. Young mothers, y'all are so in love with having babies. Like, and when I say that, y'all are in love with the baby stage. And it's like, I don't think that y'all are getting like, this is a 18 plus.
Yeah. I mean, we say that all the time about Alexandra Rodriguez, the YouTuber that I make content on, because she is one, appears, but judging just solely by what she posts online, she is one of those women who has always wanted to be seen as a mother for the angelic halo effect of I'm a mother. But you don't want to raise a child. You want to, you don't want to do the hard part. You just want to be seen with the cute baby on your hip so you can show off. So it's an ego thing. In fact, I would love for someone, anyone, anywhere, to give me just one reason for having children that isn't selfish. Just one. I would love to hear that.
Long, like 18 plus years long commitment. Like, what the hell?
It's not even, people say, oh, now I'm in the next 2 decades of my life is screwed. No, you are a parent until you die. Even if your child dies before you, you're still that child's parent. You still have all of that emotion to carry. You have to do your research and at least fucking know what you're up against. I mean, I found, and there are many of them on YouTube, pull up an infant screaming and play it at 2 a.m. and then have it set to play again at 4 a.m. I couldn't even last for 10 seconds listening to that nightmare. If you can't make it through a video of a baby screaming, you got no business having children.
Yeah, we live an entirely different lifestyle, baby. You locked in death row. Baby, if I want to get up and change my life tomorrow.
You locked in death row. I mean, she's not wrong. That is how I would picture it.
I can. I done changed my major twice. The hell? I don't even know what the fuck I'm gonna eat today. Come on now. Yes, we live a totally different life, and it's way more than hot wings and hookah.
52% of women ages 20 to 39 are now child-free. You know what that means? You understand what this means?
I love the ode to joy in the background. I love it. I love it to death.
We're the majority. We are the majority. There are more of us. More of us. When I first started making videos about not having kids in 2021, I got 6 million views in my first viral video. And I remember thinking to myself, I didn't even know there were 6 million people out there who might agree with me. Where we are now, look how far we've come. Because having kids was the default. It was honestly kind of treated like if you were in your 30s and you didn't have kids, that was weird. You were the odd man out for that. Not anymore. Not anymore. We're the majority now. You could go outside right now and see a woman in her 20s or 30s and assume that she's more likely to not have a kid than to have one. The men are going to crash out about this because they're so worried about the birth rate. And let me make this clear.
Why are we worried about the birth rate? Since when has any individual person given a flying screw about the global birth rate or the birth rate of the country they're in? This is so stupid. And I'm going to keep saying, we're at almost 8.5 billion people. That is too many for this planet. Do you notice how expensive everything is and how there's people everywhere? There's too many people. There's too many people competing for resources. We only passed 4 billion in the mid-70s. And I'm old enough to remember how laid back and cool the 70s were. And I think we need to aim for like a deduction in the birth rate until we get down to about the 4 billion mark. So carry on, ladies. Save the earth. Don't give birth. That's what I got for you today, guys. If you like this kind of content, let me know, and I will be glad to dive into different topics on TikTok. I just have not gotten into TikTok. I know that's fucking lame because everybody in the world is on it, but I'm working on it. There's only so much scrolling you can do, Anyway, thank you so much. If you made it to the end of this video, you are a trooper. Please do subscribe, like this video, hype it, all those cool YouTube-y things. And I thank everyone who stops by to hear me talk shit on the internet. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much.